Hi guys, this is a continuation of the paid review 21QA147. And I'm going to look at this part here, which is why or how do you put up with hateful people on YouTube? That said, they don't really matter at the end of the day. I want you to be well, act well, and thrive. Negative people are often the first to comment on any forum. I find you to be a sincere person and have been watching for years. You've reviewed my watch collection a few times and I like your advice. How do you ignore negativity in life? This is something with which I struggle. So I got to be honest with you. If you are going to be in the YouTube space, you're going to show your face and you're going to produce content, hey, you do have to treat this as a bit of a business. And, I kind of like to, what I tend to do is, how do I, with the hateful people there, I tend to I think the best thing to do is ignore them. I don't necessarily read the comments. People say, oh, why don't you read them? They're the best thing. Well, the reason is because if I really started to read the comments, I would be really quite offended. So I've got to say, I kind of treat it as a business. I'm trying to make content and get it out there. That's what I'm trying to do. Negative and hateful people who dislike my content, my advice is, hey, go watch something else. That's honestly the best thing they could do there. Look, I've got to tell you, in your life itself there, the funny thing is it doesn't matter if you are a billionaire, a millionaire, or a pauper, we have time. We have time on this earth. We don't know how long we've got. We don't know. We hope we've got a lot. But we've all got time. So what I've in recent years really tried to do is to cut people out of my life who are constantly negative. And I say this in a nice way. I had a guy who was a really good friend. We'd made a lot of money together. I'd actually worked for him at some stage. Then I'd gone on my own, and I've kind of, he's a self-made guy, but in recent times, I've got to tell you, I have decided to cut him out of my life. And he's very much a doom and gloomer. He's a conspiracy sort of doom and gloomer. He's concerned the world is one big global conspiracy. He's got some really weird theories on things. He thinks everything is. He's actually quite well off. I think he's $5 million US. I think he's probably worth. A lot of that was self-made. Yes, he did get a good inheritance, but he's been pretty clever guy, very sharp guy. But you know what? He's got some really wacky theories on things, and I kind of I never minded listening to them, but then I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to waste my time talking constant negatives, okay? I don't want to waste my time there. I think in some degree, my own opinion on the conspiracy theories and that there, I think COVID was probably a medical experiment in China that accidentally got out. I don't think it was they intended to release it. I think it accidentally they fucked it up. Do I think it's a big global conspiracy, global reset? They're going to change the world. This is the thing. I don't think different governments and different egos could work together without spilling the beans on each other. People are so hard to manage. It's like herding cats. I don't think they could keep their mouth shut and work together as a team to actually pull this con off. However, I do believe there is certain things that are manipulated. Like, I think the unemployment figures, they artificially how they measure them has changed over time to help political parties in power. I think things are manipulated. I do believe that. But I got to be totally honest with you. I think things aren't quite as bad as some of the conspiracy theorists believe there. And I got to say, you know, if you want to take conspiracy theory to the nth degree, you'd become a prepper. You'd have a bunker. You'd live out in the farm. You'd have a underground bunker, hidden bunker. You would have your money invested in, I don't know, what would you have it invested in? Precious metals, gold, platinum, silver. You would have armaments. You know, it's really quite. That's if you really believe that's going to happen. So you've got to hedge your bets. Whereas in my case, I think there is certainly some evil forces in the world, and there is a little bit of this globalized world. I do get pissed off with how globalization, we seem to have no help for small business. You buy something on eBay from a foreign country, you got to pay duty, and I mean, they're supposed to have a level playing field. It ain't so level for that. And I got to be totally honest with you. I think if you make a move saying that the world's going to collapse, you can miss out on some of the huge rises. For example, real estate in Australia has really, really been skyrocketing since the 2000s. The share market's at all-time high. Now, that's not to say we're not going to have corrections, but we're not going to be in a constant state of disaster. And I got to be totally honest with you. I don't really want to live with these conspiracy theorists, because what can I do to change it then? I'm not super wealthy. I've got mortgage. I've got limited funds. I'm not super. Well, what can I change anyhow? So I got to be honest with you. With personal people who I have my circle of friends, if they're really negative, I've actually been cutting them out of my life, because I had enough. I had enough of it. I don't have time to waste. I want to do things that are important to me. You know, I like sex. I like panami. I like breasts. That's important to me. I don't really want to just waste time on a conspiracy theory. I kind of, you know, yes, there could be you can only really be concerned about things you can control. Do I want to become a prepper, have all the canned food, eat canned food, and have a bunker? I don't know if that's really my cup of tea. I don't think that's my cup of tea, to be completely honest with you there. That's not how I want to run things. So I've got to be honest with you. Negativity in the YouTube space, it's a business. You've just got to put up with it. I don't necessarily go out reading the comments. I got some good moderators and people who help me. Suckerhorn, the Bear Clooney, he helps me. They handle some of this mess. But in my own sphere, people who I spend time talking to, if they're too negative, I generally just cut them out, because I don't have time to waste. I'm not here to convince him that I'm right, or he's not going to give me any of his $5 million if I convince him that I'm right. It's a futile cause. So I'd rather do paid reviews than talk to lunatics to change their view. That's kind of my take on it. So I think we can. You've got to try and take charge of things you can control. So in the YouTube space, well, everyone hates you. They put comments. That's okay. If they get really nasty, I can block them. I kind of make fun of myself to start with, which is often a great way to approach. I don't take myself too serious. I've always said to John Sackerhorn, I never take this YouTube for granted. It's been a fantastic journey. I really enjoyed it. It could end tomorrow. I'm going to try my best not to have it end tomorrow, so there's no more Viking swearing. I've cleaned up, the presentation. Well, that had to be done. It's a business. I got to protect my income stream. So that's what I've basically done. As far as personal people who I spend time with, well, you know what? If I am just sick of them and I'm not going to convince them to change, I kind of cut them out of my life. I don't have time to debate whether Bill Gates is trying to poison everyone or whether it's a global conspiracy and this and that. I don't have time. I just try and make the best, have a few luxury goods myself, and enjoy what time I have on Earth. And hopefully get quite a lot of breasts and sex. That's really more what I want to focus on. That is what I would prefer to focus on. Okay, so that's the next bit. I got another video coming. Stay tuned. We'll put the next one out there. Hi guys, Archie Luxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 paid review. I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, Archie Luxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.